Every year, NFL teams make the same mistake in the draft. It costs them years of rebuilding, it wastes millions of dollars, and it happens in front of 50 million viewers on national television. And yet, they keep doing it. Here's what makes this so fascinating. We have more data on the NFL draft than ever before. More analytics, more combine metrics, more film study, more scouting resources. And the mistake hasn't gotten better. If anything, the data suggests teams are making it just as often as they always have. So what is it? And why can't they stop? Every April, the NFL draft becomes the most analysed event in sports. Hundreds of mock drafts, thousands of hours of film, scouts who have spent months, sometimes years, evaluating the same players. And then draft night arrives, and teams reach for quarterbacks they shouldn't be drafting yet. They overdraft positions that don't win championships. They ignore the data that's sitting right in front of them. The mistake isn't one bad pick, it's a systematic pattern, repeated by almost every franchise, that the numbers have been exposing for decades. Today, we're putting it under the lens. The single biggest mistake NFL teams make in the draft is overdrafting quarterbacks. Not drafting quarterbacks, that part makes sense. The quarterback is the most important position in football. Every team needs one. The mistake is drafting them too high, too often, in classes where the talent doesn't justify the pick. Here's the data. Since 2000, 75 quarterbacks have been drafted in the first round. Of those, just 6 have earned first-team All-Pro honours even once. That's 1 in 12. And only one, Aaron Rodgers, has earned that honour more than once. Let that land for a second. Teams are spending their most valuable draft capital, first-round picks, sometimes top 5 picks, on quarterbacks, and fewer than 10% of those picks produce a genuinely elite player. One NFL assistant general manager put it this way recently. You see it every year. Quarterbacks are so important we end up talking ourselves into guys who either aren't really good enough or just aren't ready. Guys with just a little bit of talent end up looking like stars by comparison. They end up getting overhyped, and then they end up getting overdrafted. Happens every year. And the numbers back that up completely. Since 2018, an average of 3.8 quarterbacks have been selected in the first round every single year. In 2024, 6 quarterbacks went in the first round. 6 in one draft. And how many of those 6 will become franchise quarterbacks? History says probably 1, maybe 2 if it's an exceptional class. The rest? Dead cap money, wasted picks, coaches fired, fan bases frustrated. So if the data is this clear, why do teams keep doing it? There are 2 reasons, and both of them are very human. The first is desperation. A team without a franchise quarterback is a team going nowhere. The pressure to find one, from ownership, from fans, from the media, is overwhelming. And when you're desperate, you lower your standards. A player who's a legitimate second-round prospect starts looking like a first-rounder because you need him to be. NFL analyst Chris Sims explained it well recently. It's so important in the league that at times teams can overdraft the position. This guy's really the 45th player in the draft, but because of the importance of the position, all of a sudden we're talking about him at pick number 10 or 11. And therefore, you've got a guy where you're going, wait, he's a top 10 pick. He should be awesome. And it's like, no, he's just good. The second reason is the cost-controlled contract. A rookie quarterback on a first-round deal costs a fraction of what a veteran starter costs. If you can find your franchise quarterback in the draft, you save tens of millions of dollars that can be spent building around him. The financial incentive is enormous, which makes the temptation to reach almost irresistible. Both of these reasons are completely understandable, and both of them lead teams straight into the same trap year after year. Let's look at what this actually looks like in practice. The 2021 draft class. 3 quarterbacks in the top 3 picks. Trevor Lawrence at number 1, Zach Wilson at number 2, Trey Lance at number 3. Lawrence has shown flashes, but has yet to consistently elevate a franchise. Wilson was released after 2 seasons. Trey Lance started just 10 games before being traded. 3 of the top 3 picks in one draft. Franchises built their entire rebuilding plans around them, and the results ranged from disappointing to disastrous. Or look at 2014. The Cleveland Browns held picks 8 and 22 in the first round. With pick 8, they took cornerback Justin Gilbert. With pick 22, they took quarterback Johnny Manziel. Meanwhile, picks 12 and 13 in that same draft were Odell Beckham Jr. and Aaron Donald, 2 of the best players of their generation. The Browns had the ammunition to draft either one and chose 2 players who combined for 0 Pro Bowls in Cleveland. That is the cost of the mistake made visible. Not just the player you drafted who didn't work out, but the player you could have had instead. So if overdrafting quarterbacks is the mistake, what should teams be doing instead? The data points to something most fans don't talk about enough: offensive line. Since 1993, the offensive tackle position in the top 16 picks of the NFL draft has produced a hit rate of 69% and a bust rate of just 19%. Compare that to quarterback, a hit rate of 48% and a bust rate of 44%. Read those numbers again. Nearly half of first-round quarterbacks bust. Fewer than 1 in 5 first-round offensive tackles bust. And here's why that matters. A dominant offensive line protects your quarterback, whoever he is. It opens running lanes. It controls the clock. It keeps your best player healthy for 17 weeks and into the playoffs. Picks 12 and 13 have historically been among the safest selections in the entire first round. Pick 13 has a Pro Bowl rate of 56% and a bust rate of just 9%. Aaron Donald went 13th in 2014. Tristan Wirfs and Brock Bowers followed in recent years. The teams that consistently build through the draft, the Ravens, the Chiefs in their dynasty-building years, the Eagles in their Super Bowl run, are teams that invest heavily in the trenches. They take the less glamorous pick, and it pays off. There's a second part to this mistake worth examining, because overdrafting quarterbacks doesn't just cost you the pick you used, it costs you the picks you traded away to move up for them. Among first-round picks selected between 2010 and 2017, only 31% signed a second contract with the team that drafted them. Less than 1 in 3 first-round picks worked out well enough to be rewarded with a second deal. And consider what that means for trading up. When a team trades 3 picks to move into the top 5 for a quarterback, they're not just gambling on one player, they're giving up 3 lottery tickets for one that's historically only paid out at 50% odds. The teams that understand this consistently accumulate picks rather than trading them away. More swings means more chances to find the player who changes everything. Here's what separates the franchises that draft well from the ones that don't. It's not that the good teams are smarter about quarterbacks, it's that they're more honest about when they don't have a quarterback worth the pick. They take the offensive lineman, the pass rusher, the cornerback, they build a complete roster, and then when the right quarterback comes along, either in a later draft or through trading for a veteran, they already have the infrastructure to win with him. Think about the Kansas City Chiefs before Patrick Mahomes. They spent years building their offensive line and their defense. When they finally had their quarterback, the pieces were already in place. Think about the San Francisco 49ers. They built one of the best rosters in the NFL, and then found Brock Purdy in the 7th round. Because the roster was so good, it almost didn't matter who the quarterback was. That's not luck, that's a philosophy. Build the team first, find the quarterback when the right one appears. The mistake isn't wanting a franchise quarterback. Every team wants one. The mistake is being so desperate for one that you reach for players who aren't ready and sacrifice the picks that could have built the team around them. So here's how to watch the draft differently this year. First, when a team reaches for a quarterback outside the top 5, ask yourself, is this player genuinely one of the best 5 players in this draft, or are they being drafted at this position because the team is desperate? Second, watch how teams respond to offensive line needs. The franchises that quietly take the best available lineman when they could have reached for a skill position player, those are the teams that tend to win in January 3 years from now. Third, pay attention to the teams that trade down rather than up. A team that trades back, accumulates picks, and builds depth is playing a long game that the data strongly supports. And fourth, remember that the draft is a starting point, not a solution. No single pick fixes a franchise. The teams that treat it that way, one good decision every April, building steadily, are the ones that sustain success. The 2026 draft is days away. Every team thinks they're making the right call. History says roughly half of them are wrong. The NFL draft is one of the most watched events in American sport. And every year, the same mistakes get made in prime time. The same desperate reaches, the same overdrafted quarterbacks, the same trades that look exciting on the night and catastrophic 2 years later. The data has been telling teams what to do for decades. Most of them aren't listening. That's what the NFL Lens is here to show you. If you want to see the draft and every other part of this league through a clearer lens, subscribe. Video 4 is coming. See you there.